Snow White and the Seven Robots. Far away, in another galaxy, there lived a powerful queen, not a nice, smiling queen, but a nasty, mean, and selfish queen. She was called the Star Queen because she ruled everything, even the stars. But she was unhappy. She spent most of her time looking at pictures of old classmates on Spacebook, her mega computer, and feeling jealousy. One day the Star Queen demanded view screen on the wall. Who is doing best of all? The answer flashed up immediately. Your daughter, Snow White.
Liar!
Screamed the Star Queen. I'm doing best of all. I've sent all left-handed people to prison. I've used half the water in the galaxy to build an ice palace on a desert planet. And I make all the children eat snail porridge every day. Isn't that the best? Squeezy, she asked her pet Astro Python. It is, oh Queen, he hissed. And that stupid Snow White has done nothing. All she does is fiddle around with machines and wires. I must get rid of that miserable little girl now. At supper that evening, the Star Queen said she needed to visit Prince Cosmos. But I'm too busy, she added slyly. Would you go for me, dear Snow White? Snow White was good friends with Prince Cosmos, just like her. He was a keen gardener. I'll pack some seeds to show him. However, it was a trap. The Star Queen had made a special rocket for the trip. It would fly to nowhere and never arrive. Snow White would be stuck in nothingness forever. Serves her right, cackled the Star Queen as she watched Snow White's rocket take off. We'll never see her again, thank goodness. Then she went back to doing what she liked best, building evil robots. Just like her daughter, she was a clever engineer. In the space rocket, Snow White looked around in horror. Oh no, she thought. Something has gone wrong. We're not going to Prince Cosmos's planet. In fact, we're going nowhere, and very fast. Instead of panicking, she rolled up her sleeves and got to work. She did some counting,
3,
pressed buttons,
2,
joined
1.
wires together, and slowly, very slowly, she steered the rocket towards a tiny green planet. Her computer said it was called Planet Smarty. The rocket still didn't work well. It wobbled and wobbled before landing with a loud crash. Snow White picked herself up off the floor and looked out the window. Mum, it looks all right, she said to herself. Carefully, she opened the door and stepped outside. What a strange place, thought Snow White as she walked between weird plants and trees. There were calamunchers with hungry mouths and greedy eyes, and holly grabbers with branches like arms. I'm not sure it's safe, said Snow White to herself. I think I'd better return to my egg. The twiggy fingers of a holly grabber had wrapped around her ankle. Let me go, please, cried Snow White. It was no good. More twisty twigs coiled about her arms and legs, holding her tight. The chief calamuncher scrabbled up to her. Sorry about this, it said, but we're going to eat you. Eat me, she exclaimed. How horrible. Why me? Because we've got nothing else, explained the calamuncher. The Star Queen has stolen all our water to build her ice palace. And now the plants we eat won't grow, so all we've got to eat. Wait, said Snow White, trying to remain calm. First, I'm not at all tasty, all skin and bones. Second, if you set me free, I'll grow the best food you've ever tasted. Do we have a deal? The Collar Munchers and Holly Grabbers chatted together. Right, said the Holly Grabbers who had taken a hold of Snow White. 2 weeks feed us or else. What my friend means, explained the chief Collar Muncher, is that if you don't get us food, our next meal will be you. Fair enough, said Snow White. A feast for everyone in 2 weeks. Promise. Hey, sniffed the Holly Grabbers. Foolish promise. Just you food for everyone impossible. Snow White returned to her rocket and brought out a set of tools. But it won't be just me, she said with a smile. Watch. In 4 days, using pieces of the broken rocket, she made 7 robots helpers. There was Squeaky, who needed a drop of oil, and Creaky, whose joints weren't quite right. Rusty was made of the oldest rocket pieces. Jerky moved like a puppet. Wonky's head wasn't straight, and Blinky's eyes didn't work too well. But halfway through the 7th robot, Snow White stopped. Oh dear, she had run out of brain parts. The 7th robot had a purple plastic body with metal arms and legs. Its square box head had a face with beautiful green eyes and a lovely smile, but inside it was almost empty. Sorry, Box, said Snow White sadly, giving him a kiss on his tinny cheek. I know you're not very smart, but you are extremely kind. That's all right, Snow White, he said. Now that I'm finished, may I start work? You sure can, she cried. So can the others. Come on, Squeaky, Creaky, Rusty, Jerky, Wonky, and Blinks. Let's get farming. In 3 days, they dug fields and planted some fast-growing seeds that Snow White had packed before leaving. The Collar Munchers and Holly Grabbers watched in amazement as the plants grew day and night. After 5 days, they were ready. Snow White and her robots harvested them and cooked them in huge pots made from leftover pieces of rocket. That evening, the Collar Munchers and Holly Grabbers sat down to the biggest, tastiest meal they'd ever eaten. Back in her palace, the Star Queen was building her latest invention, deadly robots disguised as delicious fruits. She called them Fruit Friends. She was frustrated because she couldn't get the apple to work properly. Why don't you just ask Spacebug, oh Queen, suggested the Astro Python. Good idea, for once, said the Queen. But first I'll ask it an important question once more. This time I know it'll tell the truth. View screen on the wall, she cackled. Who is doing best of all? Again, the answer flashed up immediately. Snow White. Impossible, she screamed. Show her to me. The view screen played a video of Snow White and her robots enjoying a large meal with tea Collar Munchers and Holly Grabbers. How horrible, screeched the Queen. Where are they? On Planet Smarty, replied Spacebug. Right, growled the Queen. This time she will not escape. She loaded 7 Fruit Fiends robots into a Flying Fiend rocket. They looked like a banana, an orange, a pear, a bunch of grapes, a pineapple, a melon, and an apple. But inside they were deadly dangerous.
Come on, follow me. for your bedtime story.